On the next one. Answer choice, selections, I'm sorry, question 7. Which sentence best illustrates the narrator's commitment to his project? Well, commitment means what? We need to go ahead and think about that because most of this sentence really, or this question really hinges on this word. Which sentence best illustrates the narrator's commitment? And the project is kind of the main idea. These would be supporting details. So commitment means not going to give up. He's committed to something. So we're going to look for supporting details. One of these quotes is going to support this main idea of this commitment to his project. Next morning, little Baldy was a dark hill jutting high in February's cold, windy sky. Does this describe his commitment to the project? And we actually don't need to go in the text to find this. We could sometimes as we were reading through the questions, but this time we don't. Does that support his commitment? No, that's just more description. And let's go to D. I could not see an object 10 feet in front of me in this mist. That one doesn't support the commitment to the project. That's just about whether or not he can see in the mist. So we come down to answer choices B and C. Then with a hand planter, I planted the corn on moonlit nights. So we know from this that he's working at night and working by hand, not by some easy machine. So let's think about that as a possibility. And then we burned the brush and I was ready to start plowing. Well, that's definitely action. You can write action there. It takes action, but does that show the commitment to his project, something that takes place with the planning? That involves planning, but answer B is a better choice because it also shows that he's working day and night. So answer choice B is your answer. Okay. The simile in paragraph 1 helps the reader understand why the narrator, so we go to paragraph 1 and we find the simile and we underline it. The tops of the dark winter hills jutted up like little islands. So go ahead and mark that as a simile. So the tops of the hills look like islands. So tops equals islands. What does that mean? And so we'll go ahead and mark it as question 8. So it helps the reader understand why the narrator takes a specific path to school in the morning. No. Wants to think of a project that will be useful to his family. We're talking just the simile. Does the simile help us understand the project? No. Notices the part of the landscape he will use for a project. Does he notice it? Yes, he does. So let's put a question mark. And he rides over the land quickly on his way to school. So he does that as well. So we'll put a question mark there. What do we know? So our best answer choice for number 8 is going to be, is it really about him getting over the hills quickly? No, it's really not. Really, it's him noticing the landscape that he's going to use for his project. And remember, we're also looking at the project has to do with the title, A Ribbon for Baldy. This is not about hurrying up and getting through Baldy. It's about decorating Baldy and the project. So the whole thing is about the project. So the best answer choice is H. When in doubt, go also back to your title and to remind you of what the passage is about because it's the topic. When the narrator explains how he completed his project, his classmates' response shows that so he completed is the cause, the effect is their response. So you're looking for the effect in here. That they have changed the way they perceive the narrator, possibly. Realize how much the outcome of the project means to the narrator. They do recognize that it means a lot to him, so question mark. Want to participate in a similar project on another piece of land. Did they ever say did they raise their hands and say they wanted to do the same thing? No, so that's out. And so cross that off. And believe that the professor thinks the project is excellent. Do we hear what the professor, do they believe that? Are we in their heads? We don't know any of that. So we cross that off. That's not relevant. So when the narrator explains how he completed his project, we're down to answer choices A and B. And our best answer will be A. It's the way they have changed the way they perceive the narrator. So at first they laughed, and then they appreciated what he had done. So let me go back. When it came time to report on our projects, and I stood up in class and said I had a row of corn on our hill farm, 23.5 miles long, everybody laughed. But when I told how I got the idea and how I had worked to accomplish my project, everyone was silent. So that's a compare contrast. Cause was the project, effect, class reaction. And then they all hiked to his home and they saw that. So, and newspapermen came as well. So they came to appreciate his story. Little Baldy and his ribbon of corn. He took pictures of me. When the article and the pictures were published, a few of my classmates got a little jealous of me, but not one of them ever laughed at me again. And my father and mother were the proudest of two parents. So once again, their effect was one of respect. They may have been jealous, but they changed the way they perceived the narrator. Okay, last question. The father's work schedule contributes to the development of the plot because, so this is a literary element question, and we know that his schedule contributes to the plot. You can even think of your plot map here. How does it contribute? It allows the narrator to complete his project in secret. Remember, because the dad isn't there and he's hired someone else, so that could definitely work. So we put a question mark. Causes concern about the cost of paying someone to help the narrator. Does the father's work schedule cause concern? No, that doesn't come up. The father happily said that he would hire someone. So we cross that off. Prevents the father from having enough time to finish his part of the project. That's wrong. So we X that part because he hired someone else. It didn't prevent the father. And it creates tension when the narrator realizes he has to complete the project without his father. You can put that as a possibility, but actually his father was pretty happy about it. So the best answer choice is F. All right. Thank you.